Doors are open.
First one hit landfall was Daz. At least on my screen.
Yep, the Silverfish got a little hung up on their creeper face there.
Though... yeah. Dumbledore definitely is trying to pin them down with arrows.
Seems to be kind of working so far.
Dr. Plaster is trying to get
Got
over
one
his fence, and was able to. He is now in the forest. Now, with being daytime and not really being any spawns, this forest is pretty safe to sprint through. But they are not lighting it up at the moment.
Looks like Oddmass has a pair of shears. And that's how he's getting some blocks from the leaves.
It's interesting that they're having trouble pillaring over this, because normally we've seen teams on direct fire, which is a similar wall, either skip around it or dig the dirt out underneath, because having blocks is very useful. Alright, Dr. Plaster is starting to light it up this section.
Right now watching Wrath and Havoc, one of the Awkward Potions team members, making his way. He's already halfway through the ice lake mountain area.
Uh-oh, we may be having some technical issues.
Play continues until some sort of a judgment happens here.
Looks like the Silverfish are descending down to the lower goodie section here. I don't really recall what's down here. There's coal and I guess some iron. And a trap.
Yep, coal and iron wired to blow. Wrath and Havoc is now heading into the giant forest.
Neon Soul was heading towards these coal and iron blocks and was beset by a creeper.
Yeah, it looks like Awkward Potion actually used the leaves from the forest to create a nice, smooth walkway through the ice dungeon area.
Nice.
Ice lake. What is it? A lake or a mountain? What do you guys call it?
Ice.
Ice. Alright.
And Wrath and Havoc is going to go ahead and set off the pre-built cannon and blow up all the goodies on the Silverfish side. Surprisingly, it didn't set off all the TNT, only the cannon TNT. Looks like he might be thinking about having another go at it. Or perhaps not.
Dr. Plaster has made it through the ice section and is about to enter the forest section. He is making sure to place down torches along the way. There already have been some spawns and he is completely unarmored, but he does have a sword and bow.
I'm going to pop into the Awkward Potion chat and see what they're doing.
Ooh. Dr. Plaster has fallen to one of those skeletons.
Oddmast is currently making his way into the second dungeon, the forest dungeon. Which, I'm not sure how well he's going to fare without any kind of supplies. He's not currently wearing armor, although he does have a sword. And a bow and arrow.
Let's see, Hadoken Boy is slowly approaching the blue wool gold tree, whatever you want to call it. Though I believe if he gets spied by Wrath and Havoc, he may take a couple pot shots at him. Assuming the skeleton doesn't get him. Actually, looks like Hadouken Boy is taking shots at Wrath and Havoc. He is pretty well protected. Have they managed to get into the... yes, they have.
Yep, Oddmass is in the uppermost room in the dungeon here. The second dungeon.
Wrath and Havoc was able to take out Hadouken Boy, and Wrath and Havoc is building a cannon right at the base of their bedrock area and is about to fire some TNT across the lane. It's a very nice flat area. They'll have to hop down there and then hop up, which will expose to more fire.
Pretty smooth move from Oddmass there. He decided to blow up the spawner with some TNT and ended up taking out a few of the monsters along with it.
Now that can be a risk. I have seen a match where someone managed to destroy the wool with some TNT, forcing a forfeit.
Indeed, that has happened.
Not truthful. Yeah, it's just gonna be
Looks
that
like
much.
Oddmass.
It's gonna be that much more obnoxious for the Silverfish to get into their tree area. Let's see if any of them are able to return. They may be trying to gather supplies because some of these are fairly in-depth PvE challenges.
They are indeed. I see RSSTN down here. Riston. Collecting iron and probably... let's see. Probably going to make his way down to get diamonds and iron as well. But there are a bunch of skeletons down here.
It's really...
He's going to get shot in the back.
How did this happen? Creeper did it.
So far, so good. Looks like he's going to try to get rid of that spawner there. And the other spawners are working just fine. Cranking away. Manufacturing skeletons.
Hadouken Boy's made a full set of leather armor and is slowly heading back. I think he's a little nervous about the ice. Ooh. Sounds like Daz had some issues there. Uh-oh, maybe Hadouken Boy is having some sort of issues. Could have explained his slow moving.
Richardson has walled himself off with one of the spawners so that he could destroy it, and has done a pretty good job of getting the skeletons to turn on each other.
Dr. Plaster moves it back to the start of the forest and is being chased by a spider. I'm curious to see if he's going to try to head down to these goodies. Though the staircase there has been destroyed, he should be able to land safely in the cannon.
I'm gonna go check on Oddmass here.
Dr. Plaster is making himself a set of leather armor.
Looks like Oddmass continued with the TNT strategy, blowing up one level at a time. But not lighting them up, so maybe he's run out of torches at this point.
Dr. Plaster and Hadouken Boy are lighting up the forest and are about to reach the massive crater generated by Awkward Potion's cannon. Complete with cave spiders. And Wrath of Havoc is back to his cannon. He may be setting to load this up again.
Alright, I've just been informed by Dyer that the ice wool has been collected. And it looks like Oddmast has popped out to check and see what's going on the enemy side and set a bed. So Oddmast has set his spawn point here in the second wool dungeon, which is probably a pretty smart move at this point.
Dr. Plaster is starting to enter the netherrack area. Though he seems to be having some... Oh, he's just making sure that the area is properly lit. And he is sitting on a bed. Very smart move. It is nighttime. So it looks like Dr. Plaster has reached the first turn. Now this can be quite a problem if you're getting shot at by arrows, because one hit can knock you into the lava. The first 2 turns are relatively uneventful if you can make it down safely. The last turn, as I mentioned earlier, but before the match started, there are skeleton spawners behind here, and they will shoot arrows at you, and you will be set on fire and potentially pushed off the edge. Dr. Plaster is making a spiral staircase down to the section here. Let's see if you can make this without accidentally skipping into the lava. Let's see if there's anyone who could shoot him. Not at the moment.
Oddmast is still making slow but steady progress towards the... is this the blue wall? I believe it's the blue wall, right?
The blue wall is in the tree.
Right, okay. So the blue wall. Nearly to the bottom, there's, I think, 2 levels left? Or is it 3? It looks like it's 3, and then... Oh my gosh. Whew. Never mind. Oddmast has his work cut out for him yet.
Dr. Plaster is going to try to tunnel behind the skeletons, or behind the lava wall to avoid the skeleton spawners. Looks like Daz is doing the same. He has a bed in there and a base. Actually, no, he's just going to run it. He's going to brave the skeleton arrows, and has braved them pretty well so far. Ooh, he's on fire. Hopefully he can survive. Daz likely has the red wool. Let's see if he can make it out without burning to death. Let's see if we can track the progress of Dr. Plaster. Yes, he is following the bedrock, and it's a straight shot of only netherrack back here, so you don't need a very powerful pick to get through this, because there is some obsidian in the front, but there is a gap of only netherrack.
It is looking very scary in here for Oddmast.
I assume Daz is waiting for his health to replenish before leaving. Let's see if I can't see where the good doctor is.
For the viewers' information, it appears that those are all cave spiders, the vast majority of them, and endermen.
Dr. Plaster has almost made it to the red wool room. You should be able to get in there safely without any issues.
I believe I am seeing regular spiders in there as well, and skeletons and creepers and zombies, so it's basically just a little bit of everything down in there.
In the tree room?
Mm-hmm.
Most of the spawners...
There's like 30 mobs down there.
The initial set was like, I think, 50% cave spiders, 50% normal spiders, but being dark...
Yeah.
Things can happen.
Well, there are certainly a lot of cave spiders. It's hard to say the exact... I mean, it's scary to look at. It's just like this This vibrating mess. I wouldn't want to go down there, I'll say that.
Dr. Plaster is about to come face to face with some skeletons. Oh good, he's walled himself off from them.
Oh my goodness.
And I'm going to assume that Daz has made it back to a safe location with his red wool. Let's see if he stored any in this chest. Not in the chest.
This is insane in here.
Looks like he may not have made it out. Let's see if I can sneak in here. Yep, there's a block in the way. It does look like Dr. Plaster has been able to get the red wool and is likely heading back out. Yes, he's pillaring back out. And Daz was also making a run for the red wool and was shot off by one of those skeleton arrows.
Hello.
Hello.
Hey, Dyer.
Looks like Daz has made
Very organized over there.
3 attempts at the red wool and has been shot off by skeletons or burned to death each time.
Yeah,
And
he's having
Oddmass.
problems with his bed respawning area. It keeps popping him up, back up on top of everything.
He might need to make sure his bed is not so close to a wall.
And he said he's moved like 3 times so far, but oh well. He's gonna get though.
Oddmast has been methodically working his way down the tree dungeon, or the forest dungeon.
And Dr. Plaster did get the red wool and is currently placing some of it.
You know, he's handling this quite calmly, which I think is probably the key to getting this done.
I'm gonna go see if they've made any attempt on the blue wool on the Silverfish side.
Did you get that message I sent you, Cole, about one of the
ice wool.
Silverfish getting it? Yeah, the
Indeed, yeah.
The blue wool is unhad by the Silverfish. And I believe Ko is still in here.
Oh yeah. I'm
With Oddmast.
locked onto Oddmast right now, and I want to see how this plays out.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Half the mobs on the server are in this room.
I will say this, listening in on the Awkward Potion team, they're very, like you said about Oddbest, very methodical in what they're doing. Honey's been running the ice wool, and been just taking her time. She only had 1 accident where she was killed by a creeper. Besides that, just slow and steady wins the race, and I think that might possibly play true again here.
Oddmass was being very careful there to try and suffocate the cave spiders with gravel, but
Yeah.
they can still
No go.
glitch up.
But he set his spawn point here at the top, so he should probably be...
There's plenty of spiders swarming his supplies, so he may want to back out a little bit to get safer supplies.
He seems to have left the game.
Might be having
I
some
heard
sort of
an
glitch.
injury. Apparently he spawned outside of the dungeon, even though his bed was set inside.
Odd.
So there may be some issue, some kind of server or bucket issue with respawning.
So does it look like both walls have been secured? Of the green?
No, they have not made it in there yet on the Aquation side. On the other side, though, I did see them actually grabbing the wool.
Yeah. Yeah, they grabbed 2 of the green wool. And left some snowballs behind. Because she went up with a lot of those.
Yeah.
And it looks like the Silverfish have still not entered their second dungeon.
Let's see if I can't find them on the way out. Does not look. I hear somebody.
It looks like Wrath and Havoc is getting ready to fire off a second TNT cannon. Once he has that ready to go, he may be iffy about that now. Actually,
Oddmast is now equipped with some diamond armor. Just a chest plate, but that should be very helpful. Before he was trying to assault this with just leather armor.
Looks like Neon Soul and Reston have come down to the lower supply area and have gathered a couple blocks. Looks like they may be collecting these diamond blocks to help with the assault on the tree section.
The wool, for those viewing this and not really sure what's going on, is actually in a brick room, which you can probably not really see very well right now. But where all those skeletons and spiders and zombies are, they're in the middle, in that square hole. There's brick underneath, and that is the wool room just under there. So that's why Oddmast has not continued his TNT strategy. Some huge Deutroid feet have just appeared in my face.
Oh, sorry.
Either that or Dyers. I'm not sure.
I actually can't see it.
And, yeah, so if you drop TNT in the middle, there's only one layer of brick, and there's some likelihood that he could accidentally blow up the wool chest and destroy the wool, which would cause them to be unable to complete the map. So just for safety's sake, it's usually a good idea not to try to throw TNT down in the middle.
Looks like Hadoken
pop back into
Boy
the. Go ahead.
is hanging back at the red wool area to make sure that Daz is going to have a hard time getting it.
Yeah, I was about to say, I was going to pop in the chat and listen to Daz. I'm sure he's getting some frustration at this point. He did respawn actually in the right spot for once, but he is under heavy fire from Hadoken Boy.
And again, also the skeletons behind the lava wall.
Yeah.
He made it in there again. Ooh, and he immediately gets shot off the edge, but he may be able to reclaim that wall. If it doesn't catch on fire before he gets back.
He did place it in a good spot. That obsidian is a safe zone.
And he's going to have to stand still while harvesting it, which could get him shot by one of the skeletons behind the lava curtain.
Well, now if he's on the obsidian...
Oh, he's already on
should
fire.
be
I would
safe.
recommend, yeah, just
Oh.
jumping off again. I think he did that intentionally.
Yeah, oh.
This could be a problem.
Interestingly, Oddmast is going with a strategy of dropping gravel down to suffocate the spiders below. And seems to be fighting phantom spiders because they are glitching through the floor and popping up. They're not actually there. But he might be occasionally hitting them, I'm not sure.
The red wool that he had placed has burned away. Now again, the strategy that Silverfish used to tunnel behind and completely avoid the skeleton-laden lava wall. That's how they were able to get to the red wool in great safety. I was asking if there more than one wool. There are 3 wools in this map. Or, well, 3 wools of each color. Well, a chest full of one of 3 wools of each color. Wait, I'm still describing that wrong. There's more than one wool of each type, but they're all in the same spot.
Alright, well, Oddmast works on this. I think we're going to pop out for a bit and see what's going on elsewhere.
I will take a peek at this then. Daz is still attempting to run the red wool under heavy fire. And I believe Honey's probably closing in on the green wall. Yeah, Oddmass only has a couple more blocks to go before he'll be safe getting through.
Okay, the Silverfish have their red wool piled up here near the forest dungeon.
Which they have yet to
seeing
attempt.
as they already have the ice wool, right? They haven't actually attempted the forest dungeon yet, so.
Alright, looks like Oddmass has constructed his gravel section that he was going for, so he should be able to safely get into the wool room.
Well, that I would like to come and see. Ah, there he goes. And
He's going to be pillaring out soon.
here he is. Whoops, and yes he is. I became Oddmassed for a moment.
Alright, so
Now he just has to make his way out.
if both teams have the green wall, then they are equal on wool counts right now. I'm actually going to check on the green wool status. Looks like Honey and Wrath and Havoc are still approaching it or are just leaving. Not sure which.
Alright, and Oddmass should probably be able to make his way out of there without any trouble. There's not a lot of mobs around. The Silverfish are building a bridge over to their second dungeon, the the blue wool dungeon, and they're making their way up to the front door of that.
Yeah, this would be a good opportunity for Awkward Pushing to lock them down, because
More cannon fire!
yeah, it's not only more cannon fire, but they still have to go up this one wide area, and they're not allowed to place blocks in the void lane, so they will be vulnerable to arrow fire and potentially TNT fire
Indeed.
if they were to sneakily build a nice TNT cannon up top here. But again, it still takes a while to progress through here.
And they already have the other two wolves locked down, so they can focus completely on this.
Yes, and they spent a lot of time gathering supplies, so they should be able to tackle the PvE dungeon pretty well. It is possible that Awkward Potion could set up a cannon inside their little bedrock crevice here and fire across into their area to prevent them from ever getting out, but I don't recall how many TNT blocks are actually on this map. There may not be enough to keep a full, lockdown. And there's also a risk they could destroy the other person's wool, which I believe is explicitly forbidden in the Reddit tournament rules. Let's see how Daz is doing. Is he still being locked down by, oh, it was Hadoken Boy.
Oddmass is making his way out.
Don't see any indication that he's sneaking through.
And making his way all the way back, which is going to leave the Silverfish pretty much open to do what they please there at the second dungeon. Unless Awkward Potion regroups or something along those lines. Hard to say. They're dealing with an Enderman at this point. Maybe trying to get an Ender Pearl or something.
I'm actually not sure where Daz has gone. It's possible he has secured the red wall.
I'm looking at the wool room on Awkward Potion's side for the first wool, and it doesn't appear that they've reached their room at all. So that must still be a work in progress.
Let's see, I see Hadoken Boy near the tree, along with all of his teammates. They're all at the tree dungeon.
Mm-hmm. Well, they can focus completely on that, and they don't have to worry about the other dungeons anymore, unless they want to
suppress
do some kind of a lockdown.
Yeah, because they were doing pretty well at the red wall, but it's possible that Daz has secured that one. Well, he's running back, so probably. I'm gonna check some chests here or something. Oh yeah, they have the red wool and the blue wool. So it's just green for Awkward Potion, just blue for Silverfish, and it's going to be easier to get the green wool than the blue wool, based on the spider mess we saw. And remember,
Yeah, I was just thinking that.
cave spiders don't care about armor.
No, they do not.
And they're making sure not to, or they're not letting up their section here. They could get spawns on their way out that could easily knock them off. Sending one of their delicious iron suits into the void. I'm gonna go check on the green wool status.
Riston and Neon Soul are very carefully removing the cobweb here from the upper level.
No indication that Awkward Potion has the green wall yet. How am I the worst cam ever?
Not a lot going on here yet. They're just doing basics to get into the lower levels at this point.
Now, the faster they go, the less spawns they'll have, based on how spawners work.
Right.
And yes, for those of you who do not know this, actually I'll spin that with my shotgun. And yes, for those of you who have never seen this game type before, the objective is to gather all 3 wools located in various spots on the map and place them on your victory monument, which is back at the beginning of the map.
Sounds like some of the teams might be having problems with some lag.
For example, this team, which is the Silverfish, has the red and green wool. This team over here has the red and blue wool. This is Awkward Potion's victory monument. And yeah, my frame rate was dipping near the tree dungeons. It's possible that odd-masked spawns, plus their spawns, have now reached critical levels.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that's a fairly likely scenario, I think.
And yes, for those asking, details are available at reddit.com/r/mcturney.
Looks like Honey has made it all the way up to the glass wall of the, I believe, what is the first wool, green?
Yes, the first wool is the green wool, the only wool they need left, and
Yeah.
she is currently heading
Oh,
back.
there we go. Daz is actually in the box with it right now, picking it out.
Nice. That means this game may be over in the next couple minutes, because it's just going to be the run back, and I don't think the Silverfish have enough time to blast their way through the blue dungeon.
Honey Play also
I'm
in
not
there,
sure if
grabbing
they
an extra
know
one.
yet. Are there any Silverfish team members around the area that might have been able to witness that?
No.
Dr. Blaster was up top. He is up here, but I don't think he witnessed it. I don't think he realized it. He is going
They
down
will.
into the dungeon, though.
It's hard to tell, but it sort of seems like Neon Soul and Riston have picked up the pace a bit. They seem to be rushing.
Okay, so it could be
So-
heated. You know, they're either suspecting or, you know, seeing where the names are and realizing they're really close, that it's time to get the show on the road. They can drop TNT. It's a really big risk. As long as they can get the wool... They only drop like 1 TNT, and it can't explode the chest, but the wool will be scattered. If they can get that there and place some of it, they should be safe and through a lot quicker. But it is also possible that something really bad could happen.
Looks like Dr. Blaster over here at the iceberg area is waiting for an open shot at Honey Play or Daz as they make their run back. I'm thinking they might be doing a play to get Honey up there first.
I don't think he's going to get a good shot based on how the ice is laid up. And Daz is already out of the ice dungeon. He's just reached the forest.
Yeah. This match is just about over.
And they did a very good job of lighting up the trees, so there shouldn't be any nasty spawns under here.
At this point, I think Dr. Blaster thinks he's got Honey locked down. I don't think he realized that Daz was
there we go.
Was headed out. Very nice.
The win goes to Awkward Potion.